Okay. 7 a.m. We'll call the meeting to order. Roll call. Everybody is in attendance today. Affidavit of posting. This agenda was posted in the office of the county clerk on the 8th day of July 2026. Notice was sent to the West Bend Daily News, Express News, WIBD, WMBZ Radio, WTKM Radio, My Community Now, Hartford Times Press, Kewaskum Statesman, Milwaukee Journal Sentinel. Let's please rise for a moment of silent prayer and pledge allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, item 2 on our agenda is the minutes. Does any committee members have any changes to the minutes as presented? Okay, those will stand as presented. Our next item on the agenda is the acknowledgement, staff acknowledgements for Deputy Brian Pyle, Anthony Roche, and Communications Officer Jaden Wood, Danica Sally, and Jack McCurry. And we have a presentation by Efren Stacer and Kemps.
Morning.
Morning.
So we're going to kind of co-present this because it involved two divisions within our organization. And I think it's really important to highlight the teamwork that went involved in this particular situation. Everybody played a role, which I think you'll see as I read the acknowledgement. The other thing I'm going to say is this case is still being adjudicated both in Milwaukee and Washington County. So I'm going to be a little bit sparse on the details just because I need to be. But I do want to provide a brief backstory of what happened. So on Friday, May 29th, 2026, the defendant and the victim had planned to go to a bar together in Milwaukee. So this whole thing kind of originated in Milwaukee County. The defendant picked up a victim and then lured her into the back seat of his vehicle. After driving a short distance, the victim stopped the vehicle and demanded that the victim give him her cell phone. He demanded this at gunpoint. So a struggle ensued within the vehicle. The victim was able to briefly get control of the gun, and the defendant pulled a knife then and said, "You know, the gun's empty. It's not going to do you any good." The defendant then demanded that the victim handcuff herself to an interior door handle in the vehicle, and then began to drive north, telling her he was taking her up north to a lake house where he intended to sexually assault her. During the drive, the victim was able to retrieve her cell phone and ultimately contact Milwaukee 911 as well as her mother. Both were able to track her using various means. As the vehicle went north on 41 into Washington County, obviously our communications center got involved, both from a relay call from Milwaukee County, as well as I believe a direct call from the mother. And the communications center kind of tried to decipher this information and ultimately give it out to deputies who were able to set up and ultimately stop this vehicle. After conducting a traffic stop of this vehicle, deputies separated the parties, observed a handgun and handcuffs inside the vehicle, and then a subsequent later search of the vehicle by investigators revealed additional items, including a roll of duct tape, a hacksaw, bondage restraints, condoms, a shovel, and a gooseneck wrecking style bar. The defendant in this matter is currently charged in Milwaukee County with 3 felonies, attempted second-degree sexual assault, kidnapping, and false imprisonment, all with the use of a dangerous weapon enhancer. A complaint has also been filed here in Washington County for felonious false imprisonment, and the defendant in this matter remains in the Milwaukee County Jail at $2 million bond. So that's kind of the backstory on this. So I think what we'll do now is, because this kind of kicks off with the communication center, Captain Kemps can kind of, maybe we have. Why don't we have everybody come on up? Oh, well, why don't we have you guys all come up?
Morning. They're making me nervous behind me. Like Captain Stacer said, I think this thing, in public safety, often, we're told, oh, you're saving lives, and sometimes we do. Sometimes like, I don't know. This case is one when you look at everything, you kind of get a pit in your stomach about how it all went down. And truly, I believe, because of the work of you five, this victim is alive today and able to tell the story. And it was pretty chaotic to locate, taking all that information in. There's a lot of misinformation given to communications often that they have to parse through, and then they get it out for the deputies to do what they do. So yeah, truly remarkable case. And glad to be here to present it to you guys today. So I'll begin. Whereas on Friday, May 29th, 2026 at approximately 11:10 p.m., the Washington County Sheriff's Emergency 911 Communications Center received information from the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office regarding a possible female abduction in progress involving a distressed victim traveling as a passenger in a vehicle northbound on Interstate 41 through Washington County. And whereas while communications officers Jaden Wood, Danica Sala, and Jack McCreary immediately recognized the gravity of the situation and worked collaboratively with Milwaukee County dispatchers, the victim's mother, and responding deputies to gather, verify, and relay critical information in real time. And whereas communications officer Jaden Wood diligently coordinated with Milwaukee County to develop, investigate leads, and identify the victim. Communications officer Jack McCreary calmly obtained essential information from the victim's frantic mother, and communications officer Danica Sala effectively deployed resources and provided clear and concise and timely updates to responding deputies. And
whereas Deputy Brian File strategically positioned himself along Interstate 41, identified a vehicle matching the developing information, and conducted a traffic stop that safely interrupted an active kidnapping and removed a dangerous suspect from the situation. And whereas Deputy File demonstrated exceptional judgment, composure, officer safety awareness by securing the suspect after observing abnormal behavior and conducting a thorough preliminary investigation. And whereas Deputy Anthony Rausch, arrived on scene and quickly discovered evidence consistent with an ongoing abduction, including handcuffs affixed to the interior of the vehicle and a firearm located within the vehicle. Therefore, he provided compassionate, professional, and effective assistance to a severely traumatized victim. And whereas the victim disclosed that she had been forcibly restrained, threatened with deadly weapons, and informed by the suspect that he intended to transport her to a remote location where he planned to sexually assault her. And whereas through the exceptional teamwork, communication, situational awareness, and decisive action, communication officers Wood, Salage, McCreary, together with deputies File and Rausch, successfully located the victim, interrupted a violent criminal act, apprehended a dangerous offender, and likely prevented the victim from suffering serious bodily harm or death. And whereas subsequent investigation revealed additional evidence supporting the victim's intent to transport the victim to a remote property and commit homicide after sexually assaulting her, further underscore the significance and urgency of the actions taken by the Washington County Sheriff's Office and its personnel. And whereas Milwaukee Police Department detectives specifically recognized Deputy Anthony Rausch for his professionalism, his ability to effectively communicate with a traumatized victim, and through collection of critical information and strong understanding of applicable law. And whereas the actions of communication officers Jaden Wood, Danica Salage, Jack McCreary, along with deputies Brian File and Anthony Rausch, exemplify the highest standards of public service, professionalism, courage, dedication to the protection of others, bringing great credit upon themselves and the Washington County Sheriff's Office. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Washington County Sheriff's Office formally recognizes communication officers Jaden Wood, Danica Salage, Jack McCreary, and deputies Brian File and Anthony Rausch for their outstanding performance, exceptional teamwork, and unwavering commitment to public safety during this critical incident, Their actions undoubtedly interrupted a heinous crime and represent the very best traditions of law enforcement and public service. And this was dated the 15th day of July and signed by our Sheriff Marty Schulteis. So
Hey.
Thank you, Captain, for bringing that to our committee. This is just a great example of teamwork and the great team we have here at the county. It's not only teamwork amongst our staff here, but coordinating with the adjacent counties and turning a terrible situation into a great outcome in my mind. So thank you all for everything that you do. Anybody else have any? Okay, the next agenda item B is the sheriff's annual report.
Just to introduce Captain Kemps and Captain Stacer to speak on behalf of Marty Schulteis. The annual report published annually, hence the name, but it's very comprehensive. Many details in there of the good, strong work that they are doing on the daily, as just identified here this morning. I believe communications agent Jaden Wood has now established a strong collection of those accommodations because he's been here numerous times. So, but we're here to identify any questions, very high level description as the annual report is published annually. So if you have any questions, we're happy to entertain those.
My assumption was you're going through all 43 pages.
We most certainly can, Mr. Chairman, but if to the pleasure of the committee.
Sure, go ahead.
My question is the loss of nearly 228 years of experience. Have most of these people been replaced?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So it's constantly turning, right?
Okay.
So when one retires or leaves the agency, sheriff's office is very prudent in projecting those vacancies. So the hiring process is constantly continuing.
Okay.
Whether it's the sheriff's office or corrections or communications, they're always on the ball and working to replace those vacancies.
Thank you.
So I read through the report and I'm not going to get in extreme detail, but that was one of the notes that I had written down is the incredible amount of years of experience that left in 2025, 228 years. That's crazy to me,
Yeah.
but good for them. The other interesting information that I kind of get sucked in by is the traffic enforcement data. That's pretty interesting. The way that's divvied up in the data, I guess. And then the county enforcement for our county ordinances, how that's all laid out. It's pretty interesting if you haven't had a chance to do that. And then the last thing I kind of wrote down was the amount of dispatch calls that we take.
Yes,
That's an incredible amount of calls that we take.
yes, and increasing.
And then the
annually.
breakdown on what they all are is very interesting stuff. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, a lot of credit to
report as
Lieutenant
well.
Blair for that. That's incredible work.
Anybody else have any questions or comments on? Anything else from you? Dave?
No, thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. Move on to item C is request for municipal public safety radio grant from the Village of Jackson Police Department. So this resolution is requested. Are you covering that, Dave, or are you?
I can most certainly cover that, Mr. Chairman. The Jackson Police Department has been requesting this since we exhausted the radio grant fund last year. So this is to provide them with the radio grant funding according to Resolution 66 from 2022 that provides funding for any additional radios to replace old radios, onboard new staffing, and replacing squads. So Jackson is doing so in this committee report.
Okay, are there any questions regarding? Okay, then I'd entertain a motion. Motion by Supervisor. Motion by Supervisor Pridemore, second by Supervisor Bossert. Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Next agenda item is similar request from municipal radio grant for the village of Richfield Fire Department.
Yes,
A summary on it.
Mr. Chairman, it's the same atmosphere as was the previous one. And they have been requesting these funds since we exhausted the fund last year. So it's been some time now. We have, due to the Anti-Crime Plan C, funded the radio grant program. This is now before you for consideration.
Okay, any questions on that? I'll entertain a motion. Motion by Supervisor Pridemore, second by Supervisor Bossert. Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, then our next meeting date is July 29th. This is a special meeting at 4 p.m., just a reminder. So, with no other business on our agenda, I adjourn.